An announcement for book lovers. I'm coming to you today to announce another project that I'm going to undertake. This arises as a result of a comment that someone made actually on one of my Taylor Swift videos to the effect that they'd love to know more about the books that have influenced me over the years because I seem to be a fairly literate person. It's true, I read a lot. I always have and I hope always will. I didn't give that person a firm commitment saying that yes, I would do that. I did say that I would think about it, and I have been thinking about it. And I've decided that I will at least begin this venture. These will be videos that I will post probably midweek sometime. They're not going to come quickly because it's going to involve a lot of work, and that's one of the reasons that I was hesitant about this. You see, because I am who I am, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this thoroughly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at some of the books that I've returned to again and again over the years, or the books that have really left an impression upon me. All of these books I will have read more than once, some of them several times, and for that reason alone, there's clearly something special about them. And other books have always stayed with me. Even some that I've only read once have stayed with me. And I may consider those later. But I'm going to begin with those books that I've returned to at least once over the years. And as I say, sometimes that I've read several times since I first read them. Many of these are books that I read in my youth. Many of them are older books from previous centuries. Even the more recent of these books are quite old because, as I said, I read them in my youth. So probably in the 60s and 70s in the first place. So even the newer books are not new. I've thought about how I'm going to do this. And one of the first things that I feel I have to do is for each of these books, I have to reread them. So that in itself tells you that this is not going to be a quick fire project. I'm not going to stop reading other things that I'm reading just to do this. So this will be extra reading that I'm taking on. And some of these books are very substantial in size and very heavyweight. So it's not something I can do quickly. And I'm also going to go through them quite slowly, quite carefully, quite deliberately to try to understand them better, to understand most especially what they mean to me. I want to emphasize a couple of points. First of all, these are not book reviews. I'm not going to be saying whether I think this is a good book or a bad book. I find that those things are often highly subjective anyway. But I'm not here to give you an evaluation of the book. The second thing is that this is not a list of books that I think you ought to read before you die. I'm not recommending these books to you. I will be looking very closely and very deeply into these books to try to understand them, and most of all to try to understand why they've been important to me. So it's a very personal, very subjective project. I don't know if anyone's going to be interested in this, but as with most of my videos, I really don't do this for other people. The way I'm looking at this is it's an opportunity to go back over really a lifetime of reading and to try to understand what it is in those books and what it is in me that's made me resonate with these books, what they've meant to me. So it's about self-exploration as much as it is about exploration of the literature itself. Literature really comes alive in a dialogue between the written word and the reader, which is why you can read a book several times and have several very different experiences in the process. My life's changed in that time. My priorities have changed. My beliefs have changed. When I reread some of these books today, I may find that I don't connect with them in the same way that I used to, but that too is interesting. We'll see how this project goes. These videos are going to be slow in coming to you. It may be a month or more between these videos because it's going to take me a long while to work through a book in the way that I want to work through it. It also may be that because of the complete lack of reaction to these videos that I decide it's not worth my time and effort. But I hope that even if only a few of you watch these videos, I will still get something out of it. Putting my experience of these books into words may be a very valuable and useful process for me. If it's also interesting for you, that's a bonus. I have a pretty clear idea, at least of the first few books that I want to take a look at, and here's some of them appearing around me now. I'll give you a moment to just have a look at those and take in the titles. If any of these you think might be interesting to you, then maybe you could read them too. So there they are. I can tell you that the first book that I'm going to tackle, because I've already begun the process, is Riders in the Chariot by Patrick White. You may never have heard of that book, you may never have heard of that author. We'll go into that in the first video, which may come in a couple of weeks, because by the time I post this for you, I probably will have already done most of the work for that particular book. So let's see how this goes. If you want to post a comment saying that you think it's a worthwhile project or not a worthwhile project, that's fine. I probably will do it or not do it based on my own particular feelings rather than those comments, though. So I'll see you with the first book in maybe a couple of weeks, Riders in the Chariot by Patrick White.